and we would like to welcome you to an intimate interview with LaDonna Stein, a makeup artist here in Dallas, Texas. Appreciate you joining us here today.
Thanks for inviting me.
And a short capsule, what would you consider to be some of the more challenging things for a makeup artist in Dallas, Texas?
In Dallas specifically, or just?
Let's start with Dallas first.
Okay, well, I think you have to be really open to a lot of different types of jobs, especially if you want to make a living at it.
Sure.
But there's a lot of work here, so it's a
challenging market.
I don't know. I guess I really haven't had a lot of challenges.
So you would consider yourself to be pretty fortunate, where you get a fair amount of work on a.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I haven't had to get a real job yet, so.
So what's a typical week like? I mean, are your busiest times on weekends, early part of the week? Are you doing something about every other day? I mean, what?
It's very random.
Yeah.
Sometimes there will be weeks where you'll work 12-hour days. Every day you'll go to 6 different places in the Metroplex, drive all over the place. And that could be on a weekday or a weekend. And then there's times where you don't have work for like a week. You know, it varies. But most of the time it stays pretty busy, you know.
So what are some of the most effective ways that you have found to get word out about your services?
Facebook, the internet, yeah, that's been invaluable.
You probably get a lot of referral business?
Yes, lots of referral business. I'm also with a few photographers that keep me on as their staff photographer or staff makeup artist, basically, or the first one they call, essentially. And then I'm also with a bridal makeup and hair agency, which basically does a lot of advertising for us and handles all the contracts, and we just show up and do our job, which is fun.
So for those that are out in the audience that have always had that interest in becoming a makeup artist, give us an example of some of the education that you have gone through just to be able to get to the level of where you're at right now. What's it take?
Well, there's a lot of different ways to become educated as a makeup artist. There's different schools you can attend, although generally makeup schools focus more on special effects, which is a whole nother realm from what I do. I do mostly beauty makeup and very light special effects like zombies. But I won't be making any prosthetics anytime soon. But that's okay. But you don't actually have to be certified to be a makeup artist. It's really just about experience, and even cosmetology school, it's certainly not a waste of time, but you won't learn about makeup in cosmetology school. I mean, I think they spend about a week on it. So yeah, but I took theatrical makeup in college, and I also, when I first started, it was in high school, and it was with a little modeling agency in Amarillo, Texas. And they had like a modeling school, so they taught us how to fend for ourselves, makeup-wise, you know, and also just how to be, you know, conduct ourselves in the industry, which has always stuck with me. But, and I also worked at MAC Cosmetics, which was extremely helpful.
So what was the fork in the road that you reached where you said, you know what, I think I can do this as a career, not a hobby?
You know, after I worked at MAC, I really just gained so much experience, because so many different types of people come into MAC that after a few years, I felt like I'd pretty much done makeup on every person imaginable, every skin tone, every age, every type of makeup that they wanted. Yes.
Is there a specialty aside from, well, when you mentioned that glamour is your specialty, what is it that distinguishes glamour from other styles of providing makeup?
Well, more like beauty makeup, although I can definitely do glamour too. More trying to making someone pretty versus making them look like a monster, which is fun. But you know, honestly, I one of my talents, and I think all makeup artists have this, we see beauty in everyone. And it's my favorite part of the job is finding that and bringing it out and enhancing it.
So our audience realizes that makeup artists come in contact with lots of different models. And there's good ones and there's bad ones. I know that I can reflect back on circumstances where I would frequently ask makeup artists who's really in the chair and who's are really in the chair. Because whoever's really bad you want to avoid, and they've got a lot to say when you've got them hostage and you're doing their makeup, right? Share with us just an absolutely evil story of a model without getting into names.
Oh my gosh. You know, and I really have to say that most of the people I've worked with have been awesome. I've been super lucky. Even my brides have all been pretty darn awesome.
So not one where you've got someone that's sitting here going, man, this person is just ratting on that photographer, or she's dissing all those other models that are out there.
There's been a client or two that maybe spent too much time on the phone.
Yeah.
Talking to a million people about their drama, and it was kind of ridiculous.
You've overheard a lot.
Yeah, but you know, and I don't mind that, but sometimes it can get in the way of the job.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, depending on who's hired me, you know, if the model's hired me, then I'm there to make her feel good and her happy. But if I'm hired by a designer or a production company, I'm there to make sure that she looks great, but most importantly, that she gets on set on time. And yes, I've had some of them futzing around a little too much or questioning what I do.
Let's flip it. Let's look at it from the positive standpoint of it. What's an event that you were doing makeup for, or a particular person that will just really stick with you for years to come because it was such a great feeling for you?
You know, I really enjoy, my favorite gigs actually are not with professional models. They're more with the gals that are doing like makeover type sessions, like boudoir type stuff, or just pictures for themselves, just regular gals that maybe have never done pictures before, ever.
Sure.
But it's really special to introduce somebody to their most beautiful selves. It's really touching. It makes it seem worthwhile.
I can
like
understand.
a worthwhile profession.
What's the next step for you? You've reached this, now what's next?
Well, I'm wanting to get more agency type work, although I'm mostly freelance now. I'm not with an agency, but I wouldn't mind being with an agency. I just can't decide which one.
Well,
they all terrify me a little bit.
Why don't you share with our audience a way that anyone can get in touch with you for your services?
You can get in touch with me at LaDonnaStein.com, and that'll get you to my website and contact info.
Excellent. Well, we've appreciated your time with us.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll catch up with you all next time. Until then, have a happy face.